Now the next topic which is given, it is types of railways. We have already seen in our previous lecture what are the transcontinental railway, but again it is given, so we have to go through it. Types of railways: first is intensive, second one is regional, national railway, intensive, network railway. Okay, here it is network, here it is national. And the third one is continental. I have explained you all the types of continental railways throughout the world. Okay, now intensive network railways are those which connects industrial and industrial region, capitals of the town, capitals of the countries or the states. Okay, capital with towns and within the country. For example, if we take the example of India, okay, India, Europe, Russia, US, any, then regional national network, which means long distance, which includes long distance trains within the national travel, within the nation. Okay, here you can say that if you take the example of Telangana or any state or overall India, okay, but the long distance national travel, that is from J&K to Kerala. And the continental railways which runs across the continent, linking its two ends, are called transcontinental railways. For example, I have told you about Trans-Siberian. Trans-Siberian is the best example, okay, as it connects Asia and Europe on west. Okay, so Petersburg to Vladivostok. I have explained you all the transcontinental railways. Okay, for example, Trans-Siberian Railway, Trans-Canadian Railway, we have seen Trans-American, Trans-Australian Railways. Okay, today 50% of the people are not familiar with the railway because of unfavorable geomorphic and climatic condition along with vast ocean bodies. Okay, Transcontinental Railway, we have already seen it. Okay, so let's go again. For example, once Trans-Siberian, I have told you Trans-Siberian, it connects St. Petersburg to Vladivostok. Okay, it is in, let's consider Pacific end, and this one is at Arctic. Okay, so it passes through Moscow, Ufa via Moscow, then Ufa, then Novorossiysk, then Irkutsk, Chita, and Khabarovsk, something like that. Khabarovsk, and lastly Vladivostok. Okay, so this is the route. It is the most important route in Asia and the longest. It is said to be the longest route with 9,332 kilometer with double track. Okay, there are double track and electrified transcontinental. It is electrified. It has help in opening up in Asian region to West European markets. So this connects Europe and this connects Asia. Okay, so 2 points have been connected by this Trans-Siberian Railway. This is Canada and this is US. Okay, now Trans-Canadian Railway, it is said to be the 750 kilometer long rail in Canada, which runs from Halifax in east. So here we will have Halifax somewhere. Okay, let's consider Halifax in east to, here it should be like this. Okay, Vancouver in west. Okay, which pass through Montreal, Ottawa, Winnipeg and Calgary. So it passes through Montreal, Ottawa, Winnipeg and Calgary. Okay, so in this way this railway on this point, Halifax to Vancouver Island. This is what Trans-Canadian Railway. Then the next one is Trans-Australian Railway. Like this. So as I have mentioned earlier that from Perth till Sydney. Okay, Sydney here. So Perth to Sydney. This is what Transcontinental Railway. It travels through Kalgoorlie. Here there is one point, Kalgoorlie. Then here there is joint, means pooled. Okay, and then going to Sydney in this way. So it is said to be the West is Australian network also, rail network. So there are four types of gauges we have seen already. Okay, now gauges. Let's come to the point. Gauges, that is broad gauge, standard gauge, narrow gauge, and dual gauge. Okay, broad, standard, narrow, and dual gauge. Okay, so about 60% of the world railways use standard gauge. I have given you 1.4 meter. This is more than 1.5 meter. This is less than 1 meter. Okay, so that is 4.7 feet. 60% of the world population uses this gauge. Then gauges are vary by country and times within the country. The choice of gauge during the initial construction was mainly in response to local condition and the intent of the builder. Narrow gauge railways are cheaper to build. These are the cheaper to build. Okay, and could negotiate sharper curves. So it can be helpful for to travel the train for in that area where there are sharper curves. Broad gauge have greater stability. It has greater stability and permitted higher speeds. Okay, so high speed is also there. Whereas standard gauge railways were compromised between narrow and broad gauge. So this between this and this generally broad gauge. Okay, now coming to the next point, you have to check the railway lines. Okay, in your book it is given that the highest railway line, longest one, okay, not highest, longest one is in US with something 2 crore 29 lakh 35 35,000, oh no sorry, 2 crore 93 lakh 56,420, 2 crore 93 lakh 56,420. Second one is given in Brazil. Third, Russia. Okay, and India ranks 6th in terms of railway network. Okay, so you just go through net and check out the latest data over this. I hope I have tried to cover everything on the railway, though my net was slow and this was my first